Holmes, how's it going? Chris Parry here from EQUITY.GURU with a 3-minute hit that I'm going to try and keep to 3 minutes, even though I'm going to talk about 3 different companies. I'm trying to get in an idea to people of what the space is involving esports and sports betting right now. And here it is, shrunk down into an easily managed bit. Don't invest in esports. Don't invest in sports betting. Good rule, generally speaking, right now, because both industries are a little bit flooded and making money isn't as easy as you might think when the spaces are so competitive. Let me explain. If you watch any sort of sports in Canada right now on TV or streaming, you are inundated with commercials from sports betting groups that at the end will say available in Ontario. That is because really sports betting, other than a few kludgy government-based bet on the winner only deals that are available to us, only in Ontario is like daily fantasy sports and like, intra-game betting and all. Only in Ontario can you really bet on whatever the hell you want to bet on. Everywhere else, it's like, BC, the BCLC is like, do you want to play Keno? So sports betting, but every time it opens up in a new state of the US or a new country, everyone in the business runs for that place and tries to get themselves approved. So you end up spending $400 to get $100 out of a client. It's tough business. That said, if what you're doing is serving a service to all of those suppliers, then you can make money out of all of their deals regardless of who's winning and who's losing. So FansUnite, FANS is the ticker symbol, is a company that we talked about way back when they first came out. Very much valued much higher back then than it is today, market cap wise, but still a $40 million company. And the reason for that is twofold. One, they are supplying services to the vendors in the online casino space. So they're going to make money out of other people spending a bunch of marketing dollars to get folks in. The second thing they've got is McBookie, a Scottish bookmaker that most recently, in the last couple of weeks, has announced that they are making a significantly more revenue today than they were last quarter and last year. A lot of that's based around the World Cup, but just in general sense, a good bricks and mortar bookie out of Scotland that has the market share in Scotland is good business. It's doing what it's supposed to do. It's giving a nice base to fans, while the higher upside stuff is being worked on across the world. Now, do I think fans next week will double? Probably not. And I think maybe over the next 3 to 6 months, you'll see a lot of things out of that company that will be good revenue generation or streamlining of what they currently have. They'll announce deals with third parties that they're selling things to, B2C contracts, etc., and they may factor in on some of the places where sports betting is being opened up, which is not most of Canada right now. So for fans, maybe take a nibble while it's still cheap, in the expectation that over the next 3, 6 to 12 months, they're going to really illustrate what their model is. Now, that might entail selling off McBookie as a non-core asset that produces a little money, but might be of worth more to some other company that is focused on that area than it is to FansUnite as they focus on other things. So that might be a thing. And if that happened, if that was an exit event, a cashing in, I think that'd be good for FansUnite because we'd give it cash to employ to other areas that have more upside. Now, let's move to esports. Esports is a shitty business. No one makes any money on the tournaments, which is why FaZe Clan just announced finances that were terrible. They went out and IPO'd recently, and everyone, because they'd heard of FaZe Clan before, because their grandkids had heard of them before, and they'd seen them on YouTube, went out and said, yeah, that must be a many billion-dollar market cap company. Let's invest in that. Okay, Grandpa. Anyone who actually pays attention to the esports market knows that none of the teams are profitable. You just don't make enough money from tournament winnings or sponsorships to justify the high market caps that are in that space. That's why companies like Tiidal, companies like XONE, little local, small market cap, micro cap companies in Canada have pivoted away from owning teams into more picks and shovels businesses around esports. So what does that mean? Well, there are companies out there that, like FansUnite, as a matter of fact, that have like tournament assets. There are companies out there that have assets around monetizing content for teams and influencers. And there are teams out there that facilitate esports betting. One of those is Tiidal. Tiidal, which at one point was marketed as an esports company on the rise, has now switched to a company that has a betting asset, a technology called flash betting, which they've shown off in recent conferences to esports tournaments and gambling companies, that allows you in the middle of a game of, say, League of Legends to bet on things that are happening in that game. Interesting. Also, to bet on yourself in your own tournaments against your friends. That's interesting as well. Now, what's happening with Tiidal? Are they suddenly going to shoot the moon? No. Because raising money in a marketplace where FaZe Clan has destroyed wealth is going to make it real difficult to raise significant amount of funds going forward. They're going to have to do it the hard way by grinding contract after contract. Are they going to do it? Well, I can tell you that the insiders at the company, people that know what they've got, have made sure that they are financing it in large part right now because they have faith that this is going to turn into something. And the people who are closest to the coalface, when they are buying in, you should be following. They're also giving themselves stock options, which to me tells me that they anticipate that this thing's going to be worth more money going forward. Otherwise, there'd be no point in doing so. So that's an interesting thing, but it's kind of a case of hurry up and wait. They aren't going to move anytime quickly. And to be clear, they're not a client of ours currently. Their program expired, but we know some people are still in there, and we still give a damn about our former clients. We think that there's something there, but it's going to take a while for it to scale up and a while for it to show itself as being meaningful. So put it on your watch list. Don't jump into it. Measure your time you run so that you get in right when the news starts really generating. When you see trading volume increase, that'll be telling you that the insiders are in the market. Also, so X1, another company that we represented until recently, we've actually paused X1's contract for them because in this market, tough to tell people's story and expect folks are going to go out and buy the stock. X1 was another team that pivoted into media in setting up a Rocket League news website. I'm not sure of what the profit model is on that. Even being a media guy, I'm not sure I see that as being a rapid growth model. One thing that they do have for them, going for them though, is they've taken out ownership of a social media monetization agency. What do I mean by that? I mean, if you're Bobby McStreamer and you've got 10,000 people watching you every weekend and you're relying just on Twitch donations and ads, you're only part of the way there. The model is generally you stream and then you put your content on every platform you can and you monetize all of those platforms if you can. But the cream on top is to be able to sell an actual sponsorship to an A-list advertiser. Most content creators and streamers aren't equipped to do that. Most esports teams aren't equipped to do that. But this group is. That's what they do. It's their number one reason for being, is to take your stream and monetize it. And I think that that is an interesting model because streaming isn't going anywhere but up. Content creation isn't going anywhere but up. Every kid I know wants to be a YouTuber. There is money to be made in them there hills. So X1, similar to Tiidal, not going to go up increasing anytime quickly, but there is a plan there that they will eke out week over week, contract by contract, and when the finances come out and you see growth, that'll be the time to jump in with some sort of abandon. In the meantime, I'm only telling you about it so you know who are the players out there in the space, not so you can go jumping out and buying all the stock there is. I think long term there's something there, but it's going to take some time, and short term, who knows whether anything's going to move in any significant way. So fans, FANS, wait and see. Tiidal, TIDL, wait and see. X1, wait and see. All three different, all three picks and shovels, all three in different areas, all three interesting, all three I would say undervalued, but with a potentially lucrative business plan at their heart. some of these things I'm going to tell you, this is a company you need to buy right now. Some of these things I'm going to tell you, you know what, in all honesty, your money is important to me, and I'm not going to sell you a bill of goods. These three companies, they're interesting, but it's not for now. It's for soon. So watch, observe. If FansUnite keeps putting together good financials, start your jumping in. If Tiidal or X1 start showing the ability to scale, start jumping in. But chill, don't get in there too quickly. I ain't going to sell you anything that I wouldn't buy myself, and I'm not buying these three just yet. But I'm watching really closely, and the increase in stock price that FansUnite just had in the last couple of weeks on the McBookie finance results, that's interesting to me. That tells me there's something there, and there's still a lot of people watching this space.